Maria. Thanks so much for joining us on the celebration call. I'm so excited to hear where you're at because I know it's been quite a journey. But before we jump into all the fun nitty-gritties, do you mind sharing a little bit about just who you are and how things were for you before you started this program, and how long you've maybe been facing vaginismus?
Yeah. So my name's Maria. I am a business owner, and my husband and I we were married in 2016, and um, things didn't go the way that we thought it would on the honeymoon, and it kind of started this like really isolating and frustrating journey for us. So I struggled with vaginismus for 8 years, I think, before I found Andrea. And I know that was similar to your story, so I, like, resonated with that right away, and so I think I found you also by, like, searching on Instagram, and then we connected through there and did a consult call, and so it was finally a time that I could, like, put effort and energy into something that I knew that would help me overcome this. And we had tried again, it's very isolating as the vaginismus girls know, so I didn't really talk to a lot of people about it. I didn't want to that would get unhelpful advice, and I decided just to kind of like go inward on it. But we tried counseling and pelvic floor PT, a bunch of different things. I tried some like dilator work on my own, just based off of things that I'd learned, and just nothing was working. By the time I got to you, I was just like really frustrated, and discouraged. So that's how I was when I got to the program. I can go into other detail if you need me to, but that was the gist of it.
8 years is such a long time. So, and I say
Really
long
was.
yes, because that was the time frame for us. But I mean, at that point, you're just like rock bottom, just
Yeah,
uh, almost hopeless, essentially.
yeah,
Especially having tried floor therapy and
yeah,
counseling, you know, self-worth. And you're a chiropractor too. So I know you know a
mm,
lot of this stuff already, especially the mind
yeah,
body stuff. And so just to have it all so fragmented,
yep,
it's gotta feel so hopeless.
yep.
Okay, so you started the program. The program, there's it's a bit intense because we do a lot of awesome healing stuff in it. But for you, what would you say were some of the biggest hurdles that you overcame in this program?
Yeah, so, one thing that you'll probably remember is I was, like, struggling with a lot of bitterness, so I didn't even want to have to do the program. Like, I was just upset that I was even at this place, that to be intimate with my husband, I needed to, like, join a program. I was so frustrated. And so it took several months to kind of overcome that and find my motivation again. My story wasn't necessarily one of like a result of purity culture. So I really liked the spiritual component, but that wasn't necessarily the thing that I had struggled with the most. A lot of it was mindset for me and finding the motivation and hope to be able to move forward and give myself like hope that I could actually overcome this. So I think the mindset thing was the most challenging at first. I needed to get over the fact that I even needed to do it and just like stop being discouraged by that. And so through several coaching calls, I feel like I finally did that. I mean, I think I started maybe in October, and it wasn't until the winter that I, like, really was like, "You know what? I need to do it, and I need to, like, really give my all to it." So that was once the winter hit and I kind of found that renewed motivation, things really changed for me, and I started doing everything through that new hope and really pushing forward. But my mindset truly was the thing that was holding me back at the start and the most challenging thing for me to overcome.
And you did a lot of amazing mindset work. Like you did have a lot of sticky points that I remember working through. What would you say to someone who might also be facing that similar level of bitterness that we even have to do this?
Yeah, well, that's a great question because feel like in some ways I'm still working through that. But something that you said that really helped me in our coaching calls is that through your story, like it helped you prepare for other phases of your life. And so those are things that a lot of people struggle with. And in other areas where just struggling with bitterness or frustration or comparison. And so it was something that I I would encourage you, if that's you, is like working on this now and through the lens of vaginismus is only going to help later when you're overcoming other things. And I don't know exactly what you said, Jess, but it's like, vaginismus isn't like the worst thing that can happen to you or something like that. You're like, it's not like and I was like, you know what? Yeah. Like it just you put so much like weight and pressure on like this one thing. And so that motivation, finding it once you get it, it can really fuel you forward. So sitting in the bitterness, I needed to do that for a little bit of time so that I could really overcome it. But when I find myself now in a completely different season, slipping into some of those old habits, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how I can overcome this now because of the work that I did before.
Love it. And that's what it is though. It's like
Mhm.
the lessons we learn on this journey of healing. And like vaginismus, it is pretty bad because it's so vulnerable and
Yeah.
intimate. Don't share it with others. So it makes it kind of extra icky.
Yeah.
But the deep, deep work we do in healing from the extra icky is going to help us in areas where we might experience bitterness or
Yep.
anxiety or frustration, whatever it is that we're working through.
Yep.
Vaginismus still to this day, it's been 5 years since I've dealt with vaginismus, but I'm still working through some of those truths
Yep.
daily. Just like I learned this back in my vaginismus journey, and now I can copy
Yep.
paste into this new
Yeah.
style that I'm in. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you said that so well. Okay, so then how are things for you now?
Yeah, things are really great. I mean, once I overcame it, it's not like all my problems went away and everything was just perfect, but we were just like, so the way it worked out, in the winter, I really like was like, I'm gonna do this, and my goal was to be able to like have a second honeymoon with my husband for our anniversary, which is in July. So I gave us a decent amount of time to be able to accomplish this. Um, And so we got to do that, and that was just, like, really special to be able to, like, have that time with my husband on our 8th anniversary or whatever. So, it's just been really fun, like, learning each other and doing all the things we kept joking, like, "Wow, we should have done this years ago. This is great." Again, the work that we did during this whole journey, like, we obviously had, like, we were very close and all this stuff, but it's just really nice now to be able to be intimate with him and not have it be the whole thing that it used to be. So it's really great. And we're really enjoying it.
Love it. So no pain is
No.
possible.
Yes. Yes.
You use dilators still?
No. I for like a practical when we went away for our anniversary, I did like bring them, but I remember like you saying that if you're still using them, like, are you truly healed from it? And so I really didn't want to have a reliance on them. And so as soon as I felt comfortable, I just stopped using them. And I haven't used them since the summer.
Okay. So if you could whisper any advice to yourself from back when you were first starting the program, what would you say?
Hmm, that's hard. I I really just I did find, a lot I keep using the word hope, but I did find that, at the very beginning, but I wish I just really couldn't see a world where I overcame this. And so again, I think that's part of the bitterness, but if I had just kind of latched onto that earlier and known that no, you actually can do it. You just have to put in the work. It took me a while to believe that just because I hadn't tried anything as like encompassing as this, but I tried other things, excited about it, and then it amounted to nothing. So I really didn't want to be like disappointed again. So I think like if I could go back, just like you can have hope that the Lord's going to use this because there wasn't anything, remarkable about me that would be like, oh, well, she just can't be cured from this or whatever. I just had to put the work in. And so that's what that's what I would tell myself of just do it. So
And that's why I love sharing, like recording these stories for those who are willing to share their story with the world, because someone's going to see themselves in your story and they're going to say, like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. I've been married for 8 years. She's married for 8 years. I'm
yeah.
also a chiropractor. She's a chiropractor. Like, someone's going to relate to your story and be able to say, like, me too, and get that hope. Because until you can just visualize yourself there, you put up the wall and say like, I'm different. I'm not going to heal,
Mhm.
but we can all heal. Everyone's different, but we're
Yeah.
going to get past it. And vaginismus is totally curable. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
thanks for sharing your story because it will give others hope to believe that they can get past it. Because it can,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yep.
So a big question a lot of people ask me, especially when they're in the thick of this, is penetrative sex really worth it? So what do you think?
Yes. I think, just again, like, my husband and I had a very strong relationship all throughout, like, he was, truly amazing, but being able to, like, connect in this way, has been really meaningful to us and really special. We obviously lasted 8 years without that being part of our story, and so I'm thankful for the ways that we were able to connect before that, but now, there is a level of closeness. Again, we were always really close. I don't want it to sound like we weren't, but it's the way that I know that the Lord intended us to be able to connect through intimacy and marriage. And so it is definitely worth it. I know similar to you guys, like I had those thoughts of like maybe it's just not, maybe it's not we'll just be good. We'll just be cool like without it or something. I don't know, you know. And so no, it's worth it to push through the hard and uncomfortable things, and work through the program so that you can have that with your spouse because it is really special. So, yeah.
Yes. It is it's hard just to say how beautiful it is because yes, all the other ways we can connect intimacy are also truly beautiful.
Mhm.
But when we can have that piece there and just the freedom that that piece gives to open up all doors to whatever the bedroom holds is kind of
Mhm.
great too and makes it really sweet.
Yeah.
So what would you say was the most beneficial part of the program or your favorite part of the program?
I really liked having a map of things to do. And so I know that a lot of people with vaginismus are, more like type A, but it really helped for me to have like a bank of things that I could do to help calm my system down, work on, the pelvic floor muscles and kind of like have a lot of different avenues to attack it. And so like um for me, once I found that motivation, I was like, I need to be doing 1 to 2 things a day to be working towards this goal. So I had like a goal journal and I would write down through your program the things that you recommended for each stage and I would break them down daily. So I knew that if I like had a day that I was working really late and I couldn't like dilate or whatever, I could do, something with the vagus nerve and just do something and I would read affirmations every day. So I really loved like it wasn't like the only way that you can get through this program is to do 30 minutes to an hour of dilating every single day. It was like very tangible, like do do something. And I've seen through the chat and things like that, a lot of the women can get kind of overwhelmed, like, wow, it's so much to do. But when you break it down, like what are a few things that I can do every single day to calm my system, to be able to be in a place of healing in the first place, I thought was really beneficial. So, I mean, I thought like everything was helpful. But I really appreciated just the different facets too. We're going to talk about the physical stuff, we're going to talk about the relationship, talk about spiritual, and then we're going to talk about how to calm your system down as well. All of that was really important. You can't just do one of those things. So that was what was really helpful for me.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's an encouragement to others too, to like take a deep breath. I used to say just do one thing today, but I like that you said two that you can implement that can really just support yourself well. It does not have to be a long session with dilator. In fact, that might be the worst thing for you today. And so I love that you recognize that and showed up for your body in that way. So I guess kind of on that, what would you say to someone who's considering whether they want to do this program or not?
Do it. um, I like it. There were so many ways that this was helpful. Yes, there's the program, but also getting to meet with you and talk one-on-one with somebody who is going through that. And I know that we have you have the calls and things like that, but I this wasn't something that I could talk about with my friends. Again, I tried and it didn't really work. And so getting to like chat with somebody and with other women that are actually going through this was really valuable because they're also hurting alongside of you and trying to find this encouragement and doing like really hard things kind of in secret because you're not broadcasting that you're going through this. So it's a really tough thing to go through. And so to have a program, it's like, you're not alone. You could do these things. It really was worth it. And I think you do have to be in the right mindset of like, I truly do want healing and I truly do want to fully attack this and, move forward. It shouldn't be, done out of a feeling of stress, but really like showing up and being like, I want healing and I can do it. I highly recommend it because again, if you only focus on one of those things, it is a lot harder to find healing. So yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Thank you. Thank you for that perspective, because and that's the heart behind the program is to we're complicated women. We have multiple layers. And if you only address the small piece, you're missing the beauty of everything that's connected to that. And so the goal is we're gonna put those layers together as we work through this so that when we get to the end, we've left nothing undone. It's all been worked through so that that transition happens so beautifully and so pain-free, pleasurably because we've tackled the layers. And that's the heart. So well, Maria, this was such a joy. I'm so excited because I feel like I'm invested in everyone's story, but because you came to me and I saw so much of my story in you, like, oh my gosh, this girl, we're gonna do it. And you went through a lot, did some of the most mindset work I've seen, and it worked. You've done it, and you're enjoying intimacy the way God designed it to be. And I'm so
Mhm.
excited for you. So
Yeah. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you for taking the time to do this call and being an inspiration to others.
Absolutely.